So for our ocarina, the last part of our ocarina project is going to be it's going to be creating texture on the outside. Now you already chose some kind of texture. Last session we learned about adding pieces on. I added these two wings on and I added the head on, and you can kind of see that main ocarina shape that we had before. For your texture, you could use a bunch of different things. And I'm going to set my ocarina aside right there for a second and just take one of the other examples for texture. For texture, you could use anything to push in a texture. The trick is getting the texture to look like a texture that you want on your animal, whether it's furry hair, scales, dots, something so that it looks like an interesting texture. And so even if you took something as simple as one of the old paint brushes and started sticking it in, you could overlap them and get a kind of circle-y shape for a different texture. Okay, but depending on what you've got, you're going to have to make the textures. So I'm going to take a couple tools here. I'm going to use my popsicle sticks, and I'm going to use a toothpick. And if you want a toothpick, you can. I'll have them up at the front of the room for you. And I'm going to make feathers. Okay, I'm going to just push this popsicle stick in, and I'm going to give myself some room and push the popsicle stick in again. Okay, and I'm going to kind of overlap them and make them longer. Maybe even leave a little space, and it might be kind of hard right there next to my head, so I'm going to have to change it. But then I can go back on here and draw in like a little texture for the feathers. Okay, so you can see how I have those feathers there. And then I could take that same idea and do it up here onto the top of my bird, or onto the front of my bird, and I'm basically going to put feathers all the way around the whole thing. I'm also going to take the head here and design the little eyes and kind of shape the mouth and nose. So number one, as you're working on this, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to mess up your ocarina hole. You want to make sure that it still blows well and that it still has the same pitch volume. So just as a reminder, if anything should go wrong, you can just simply again take your tool, slide it in, and make sure that all that stuff is lined up by using your tools and holding the one popsicle stick in at a 45-degree angle there, and just kind of reworking it. If it should not blow, you can always rework it a little bit and make sure that there's no junk inside of it. Okay, and it should blow. And of course mine doesn't, so that means there's a problem. So I'm going to again clean off my tool and try my tool again. Okay, and if you see inside of there, okay, it's a little dark inside of there, but if you see inside of there, there's some little chunks around the edge. So I'm just going to kind of angle it back and forth here and take a little bit of this extra clay and smush it down right there, because there's a little chunk that got taken out. I'm just going to rework that so it's a nice 45-degree angle. I'm going to pull my tool out. Just going to make sure there's no other junk down on the bottom. Now it should blow. Not very good though. So if I check inside there, I can see that it's a little lopsided as I pulled it out. And the reason why mine got a little screwed up here is because I got it too wet as I was working with it. There we go. Now it's fixed. Alright, so and then you want to check your ocarina holes and make sure they're not too off. So I'm going to take some little clay here for the eyes. I'm going to take a paintbrush and kind of poke in a little area for where I'm going to have the eye sit. I'm going to get a little piece of clay and I'm going to make a little eyeball by rolling a little piece here in my fingers and stick it in there so it actually looks like it's part of the head. Okay, and do it on the other side. So basically for today, as a review, you are going to finish all the kind of extra details for your ocarina. You're going to finish all the body making parts and head making parts, arms, legs, wings, feet, whatever kind of things. Today is the day that you're doing the creative designing and finishing work of your ocarina. Since everybody's got different things going on with their ocarina, we're all going to have different challenges and we're all going to have different things that we need help with. So I can't give one overall demonstration for exactly what's going to go right or wrong with every person, but you're just going to have to take these ideas that I'm showing you and apply them to your own ocarina. Likewise, you're going to have to be creative and think for yourself what your animals are really looking like. And this is why we had the demonstration and the homework, so that you could kind of think ahead and think of, what might my problems be? What am I going to make mine look like? How am I going to design it? How am I going to sculpt it? So that by the end, you have a nice animal when you're done. And everyone's, like I said, is going to be different. The main goals that you have to do, you have to have added pieces of clay, which we did last time, and you have to have impressed texture, which is, this part here, my wings, and now I'm kind of drawing in the mouth, the beak. Okay, and the last one is you need to have nice details. It should look, not maybe realistic, but it should be recognizable as the animal that you've got. So, think about where the beak is, the little nose holes, the eye is here. You have to think about how is your ocarina unique, what things make your ocarina and make it look nice. Because if your parents want to set it up on the shelf, you want it to look nice and you want to be proud of it. You don't want to say, oh, don't hang that up, Mom, Dad, I don't want it to sit there because it's going to look bad. You want it to look nice, and then you want it to be able to play too, because that's pretty fun. That's the fun part. Likewise, if your ocarina holes don't blow right, okay, mine do, but let's check the pitches. If I cover my 4 holes, I can make this just a little bit bigger. And I started out with a paintbrush hole. So if I start out with that paintbrush hole again, you might have to tune it, and a great tuner is the toothpick. Okay. And the toothpick will give you, if you just gently rotate it around in a circle like this, very gently and carefully, it'll slowly make your hole bigger. And you'll be able to have more control over your pitches. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to finish this texture and show it to you at the end of the video.